Hello, so today I would like to do a different type of video in a sense that it's no longer a product review, but rather I just want to document down my pregnancy journey for my first 2 trimesters, and I hope it will be of useful to those new mom just like me. I'm not experienced, but I'm really here sharing my experience. So if you're similar to what I am doing is good, but if you have a different own way and it works for you, it's also a good thing. Yeah, because everybody is different, their body is different, how they prepare for pregnancy is different. Some may go overboard, but some may want to be a minimalist, so it's up to you. There's no right or wrong. Yeah, but my key focus would be really what did I prepare and what are my essentials, and some of the reflection that I felt that I could have done better because I tend to procrastinate or delay things. So when it comes to pregnancy, sometimes you should be more or less be timely rather than delay getting like a pregnancy update because there's a life growing inside you. So without further ado, I will just go into how I got to know that I'm pregnant in my first trimester. So I think in essence, the key thing is that I actually didn't know I'm pregnant till later in the weeks because I actually chose not to do a pregnancy test because I'm quite ignorant in the sense that I thought that there's nothing that could be done in the first 3 months because that's the critical so-called first 3 months that people always say, right? Because if the baby can make it, it can make it. If it can't make it, then it's just not healthy enough to make it. So I really didn't know that there are things to be done, when you know that you're pregnant, like taking folic acid. That's the key thing, right? Taking your prenatal vitamin, that's things that you can do. I really didn't know about all this. So at that time, I just didn't have that urgency to go take a test kit. Rather, I keep waiting weeks by weeks, even though I do see some symptom because my symptom wasn't very strong, so I don't have this urge to go take a test also. But ultimately, I just want to say, if you feel that you are pregnant or you miss your period, it can be just a 4 cents. Just buy a pregnancy kit and take the test, so that it's a yes or no, and then if it's a yes, then you could do some preparation work. Okay, so for me, I missed my period, and I felt tired easily. That's one thing I noticed, but I just thought that it's normal because I usually don't have on-time period. It can delay 1 or 2 weeks depending on my stress level at work. And again, feeling tired is very subjective, so just not sure if I slept well that time or it's stress. But I have to say, if it's true that I was pregnant, which is true, then first trimester, the exhaustion is there because I rarely take naps at like 5-6 p.m. But I realized that once after work, it was a working from home environment in Singapore, so I can't wait to just go take a nap, and then wake up a few hours later, which is much required then. I also had a very strong sense of smell. Just noticed that I, can smell. As in, I'm not like avoiding the smell or I have like strong against of the smell, but I just can smell things, easily. Like fragrance stuff that are very far away, somehow I can just smell it quite obvious. But fortunately, I have no nausea, so that is a good thing. And maybe that's the reason why I didn't take a test because it just not sure, right? Like you don't feel like you want to vomit, so you thought everything's normal. But I do feel bloatedness and full. Like after I had a dinner or lunch, I feel full very long. Like I just couldn't digest as well as in the past. At week 5, I felt cramps, small cramps, like how I usually do when my period's going to come. And there was this time I also observed spotting at week 6. So to me, then I really thought I wasn't pregnant because that's what happened when my period is going to come. Means I have more cramps, a little bit of blood stain, and then tomorrow the blood will come. So I didn't. So the week 6 thing really is a bit confusing because it made me think that I'm not pregnant. right? So I actually drank alcohol at week 6 because that was New Year Day. Yeah, so I was celebrating and I drank it. So this is something that I think it's pretty bad. Yeah, and I could justify that I didn't know I was pregnant, but regardless, like week 5, when I know that I'm very bloated and full, a bit uneasy, and then like my cramps are like delayed for 4 weeks, I should have known that something is not normal. Yeah, I should be more careful and I should have taken a test. So if I could have taken a test at week 6, then I wouldn't have drank alcohol at week 6, right? So, and I could have eaten folic acid, and then like my baby could have like a few more weeks of folic acid vitamins, which feel good to know that you are protecting your baby, right? So that's what happened anyway. I didn't know, so I drank. Fortunately, the baby is still fine per the scan right now. But having said that, no alcohol when you're pregnant. Then I had one food aversion, which is mushroom. I hate mushroom. Somehow, I don't know why. I used to love mushroom a lot, but when I'm pregnant, the smell of mushroom really irritates the hell of me, and whoever said that mushroom is good, it's gonna make me so frustrated. I don't know why. So I just kind of eat mushroom. Then I did a pregnancy test. So finally, I don't know why, I decided to do a pregnancy test at week 8. So it's very delayed, right? So not recommended. Okay, so if you go through this, please don't follow me. Okay, once you feel that you're pregnant, just go take a test kit. It's only cost $10. And I think I did a a pregnancy test eventually, because I realized that, okay, maybe not I realized, but my elder sister, keep asking me to, hey, just go, take a test, because I think she's also suspecting that I am pregnant, because I just have no appetite to eat more than my usual serving. So I think with that, and then with the fact that I know I'm going to fly off to US a few weeks later, then I was thinking, hey, why not just test and see if there's something that we could prepare for. Yeah, so I did take a test then at week 8. So pregnancy tests say that I'm positive, a very obvious one, because I'm already at week 8. Then I booked a OBGYN appointment at week 9. Managed to find one at week 9, so it was fortunate. In Singapore, I think anywhere, I guess, gynae is pretty hard to book. Usually you book like 3-4 weeks in advance, but I was lucky enough that Dr. Geraldine Tan had a slot, 1 week later after I know I'm pregnant. And I did this search online, so it's not recommended by anyone that I know personally. But it turns out that, from some online review, Dr. Geraldine Tan is very friendly. She doesn't, time you. She, like, you won't feel that she's rushing you to, hey, that's all you need. No, you don't have to ask so much. Don't be worried. Like, she won't give you that kind of feeling. She's actually very motherly. So I kind of like I think 2 or 3 consultations with her before I flew off to the States. So yeah, I would really recommend her to my friends or my siblings if you are in Singapore and you all live near Katong. So for me, I live like more in the central, so Katong is quite far off. But because of the urgency of having an OBGYN, and somehow the online review of like Dr. Geraldine Tan is very positive. So I decided to go to the appointment. I figured out that my baby is 22 mm. That's the only time I remember my baby's length, because I'm not very good at remember all this stuff. And I stopped recording things. I just know that baby's growing because your stomach starts to grow, so you know that your baby's growing. But then because like you don't feel anything, and then the 22 mm number sort of like stuck in my mind for pretty long, so I can remember and type this out. And I heard my baby heartbeat for the first time. So it's pretty exciting then, to know that your baby is inside, like there's something inside or someone inside, and that you should have tested your pregnancy earlier so that you could monitor it earlier. But I know like a lot of people said that actually you test early, you won't have an OBGYN appointment until like week 6 or week 8, I cannot. So from OBGYN appointment, I think I'm still on track, but of knowing my pregnancy, I'm late because I could have done something, which is to eat the prenatal vitamins, right? Yeah, so it's the vitamin portion that I am regretting on. So how do I feel in my first trimester, and what are the two things that I want to share? So you all know that I don't have nausea, which I mentioned earlier. So like all those morning sickness, I feel for those mom that has it. I'm sorry, I can't advise how to manage that because I didn't have it, and I guess I try to not think so much and even tell myself that, hey, you're still normal, as in you're not pregnant. Try not to think that you're pregnant, and then you don't have to think about all the symptoms that are coming. I'm not sure if that is like psychological or what, but that's what I've been telling myself, and my younger sister has been joking with me that, hey, stop being a preggy or what. So sort of like set up this environment where we I don't know how to say that, but we sort of like try to be as normal as possible, without like having that pregnancy in your mind, which sometimes it may make you feel like as if you should be treated differently, but actually no. Yeah. Anyway, that's digressing. So two things that I felt, that it's kind of different and difficult was I could feel my internal stretch soreness at week 10. So like it's the internal stretch at the two, I think mine was is it on the right side? I think the right side, that ovary part, the ovary segment of your body. I felt that I had like this soreness there, it's like stretching and so painful, and it's only on one side, it's not on the other side, so I don't know what's wrong. I told Dr. Geraldine Tan, and then she said it should be normal because she just explained like, your body is preparing, and then your uterus stretching, so that's why you felt soreness there. But if it goes off, then it should be fine. So indeed, it does go off after the first week. Yeah, but the initial stretch, I don't know why, like the initial stretch is so much obvious that you will feel it, and it's uncomfortable. But after that, even going to like second trimester, like you don't feel all this soreness stretch. So it's really that first pull that is pretty intense. Then the second thing is going to the toilet. So I think going to the toilet, right, the first trimester, you need to get used to it. Like you realize that you have to go to the toilet more often. And then there was this first few times I need to go to the toilet in the middle of the night. I think because my bladder was holding the pee, and then when I have to go and really release it, like I don't know what's going on, but I just felt like my internal bladder, I don't know, the muscle there where it relaxes, that sort of relaxing thing, I felt like it's pulling my muscle, so it was very irritating because you're already like waking up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet, and then you still feel this kind of pain. Not really pain like, like a sharp cut pain. It's not, it's just, I think I would just say like it's sore, like you have been holding bladder for very long, and then suddenly it relaxes, and then that muscle that relaxes, let go. Then that intense soreness just happened at that time. Yeah, so like it got to a point where I have to always remind myself, like when I wake up in the middle of the night to pee, like to pee slowly and not just let it go like that, because I need to prepare my body to okay, the soreness is coming, let it go slowly. Right, so that was the irritating part, but fortunately it goes off after a week and everything's normal. So give your body time to adjust. And for me, it's like this two thing that I felt that was different and I have to adjust to. Okay, another surprising fact is that in first trimester, like the 3 months, there isn't really much tummy growth, like at least for me. I'm a petite sized lady, 5 foot 1 inch, and then which is around just 155 cm, and then like there isn't much tummy growth, for the first trimester. Like I couldn't feel like my tummy is growing. I just feel bloated. It's just your stomach being bloated. So if any non-pregnant lady have a bloated stomach, it's equal to your stomach size. So I could wear my pre-pregnancy clothes dress till week 22, and then throughout this period, like no one can really tell that you're pregnant. It's perfectly normal. So please do not be shocked if like people say, hey, you don't look pregnant at like first trimester. Because I think people have this false perception that, or I used to have this false perception that like the 9 months is cut evenly throughout the 3 months, and then you would have like proportionate growth. But that's not true, because first 4.5 months, like my stomach didn't really grow much, and I feel some kicking in the fourth month, but like I don't feel the size, like, but towards the 5th month onwards, I don't know, the stomach just starts to balloon, and then you feel like each day or every hour your stomach is growing, and then the size just is different when you wake up, and it's different when you go back to sleep, and it's again different when you wake up. So the growth is really towards the end second trimester to the last trimester, I guess. So I'm not nowhere near the last trimester, but I'm seeing like from the 5th to the 7th month, it's pretty obvious that it's where your stomach's growing, and that's where you have to get your maternity wear. Okay, so if you're thinking about when should I prepare my maternity wear, then I would say probably week 18, 19, you can start taking them out. Try them on, see which one is the one you like, and then start wearing them from whenever you feel like your current dress can't take it anymore. So the last slide for my first trimester is just something that I think is some to-do list, that it's really things that I prepare so that in case I'm pregnant again next time, I will look at this and I will know, okay, what are the things that I need to focus on that are important, and then the rest that are not so important, when I have time I'll do it. So the thing that is important is, again, book your OBGYN early, and you can only book it early when you know that you're pregnant, right? So get your pregnancy test kit ready and do it when you feel like you miss your period 2 weeks or 3 weeks, yeah. Or especially when you're conceiving, like that you are doing it just to have a baby, then you'll be more mindful, and then you could take it when you feel that, oh, I really missed for 1 week, I'm pretty sure that like I'm pregnant, then you should go and take it. Then eat your prenatal vitamins. So I think in Singapore they usually prescribe for you. So I guess the key one is folic acid, DHA. Iron, calcium, but they usually give you this multivitamin kind of medication, so you just eat it. And my point here is what I highlight in pink. I know there are times where you forget because you're supposed to eat daily, and I think you have 3 tablets to eat. Like for me, I have 3, so it's almost like difficult. I think it's not difficult to remember to eat, but the thought of like needing to eat like 3 tablets is just not something that you look forward to, especially like you've eaten your breakfast and then you're already full, then you may not want to eat that 3 medication, then you may push it to lunch, and after lunch and dinner, then you forget about it. So sometimes I do forget, but I always tell myself, I have to eat it. So I keep track of like trying to eat it every morning. Like I'll eat a light breakfast and then eat this medication, because I don't know why after I eat this medication I feel full. Like the food doesn't come in like straight away, but maybe an hour later you suddenly just feel that you're very full. I don't know whether it's a medication or it's my own psychological feeling. Yeah, so endure it there, and you have to eat it daily. Okay, it's for your baby growth and for your body. Actually, it's not only just for your baby growth, it's actually for you, because you are having a life inside you, and your body, in order not to lose its nutrients, your body yourself needs that nutrients, right? You need to recover back mass balance, so you eat it for yourself. Okay, then obviously the 3 main things that you shouldn't touch alcohol, smoking, and raw food. Like, you shouldn't eat those, or you shouldn't like practice those behavior when you are pregnant. Other things, I think there may be myths saying that you can eat this, can eat that, then it's really your own judgment call or how your body react to it. So I will not talk too much about it. And then some fun fact is that actually you just need to eat healthily, right? I keep hearing people say that, oh, you are eating for another person, right? So that's where you need to eat a lot. But that's so wrong. I don't know why people keep, or I see in shows that people say that, oh, pregnant lady tends to eat more because, I mean, it's true that they tend to eat more, but when they make it sound like, they are eating for another person, they're eating another meal, then it's wrong. It's wrong. Okay, so you only need to eat 200 more calories. That's it. 200, not a person, not like 1,000 calories. So it's just 200, and then 200 is really just 1 or 2 servings of yogurt. That's all. If you think about it, it's actually not a lot. So please try to plan your meals such that you are full, but not over full, and try not to give in to too much cravings. Because I know like we have a lot of cravings, but I try to control myself not to eat it because I feel that that's temporary, and yeah, they are not very real, I guess. I don't know, but when I think about it that way and I drink more water, I keep like trying to feed myself more water and I forget about it and it's gone. So it works for me. I don't know whether it works for you. So your own body, you got to take care of it. Then at week 11 to 13, you can choose to go for like I think Oscar or Panorama. This is in Singapore context, so I chose Oscar because then I was still in Singapore. The main reason is that it's cheaper, and then Panorama, I think Oscar is only $400. Panorama is over 1,000. The intent of this test, in a layman term, or from what I understood, is really just to ensure all those like Down syndrome, Edward syndrome, some other chromosomal disease that usually they test for, I guess. You're able to see the percentage, whether you're high risk, low risk, or medium risk. So I chose Oscar, which is I think the 90% range. I think it's good enough. But I don't need to go so far out to a more accurate one. Just go through the process of testing it, ensure that it's okay. And then once I've done that, I flew to the States. So yeah, after week 12, okay, so I flew to the US before even getting the result out. So it was a bit nerve-wracking. But I guess when you have to go, you just have to go. Okay, I should be thankful that I can fly after week 12, right? If I were to fly before week 12 and anything happened to my baby, then probably I would regret it. But I guess it's still quite timely that my flying time is after week 12, where the baby is stable, and yeah, so I could fly off, and I took that 25 hours flight, which I survived, so thankfully. And then I reached in the United States when I am having a little baby inside me and my second trimester. So from this second trimester onwards, it's my the United States. But I'm not going to talk about their system, their healthcare, so you won't be hearing me recommending anything medically related. It's really just my own experience. So second trimester, fortunately, I still don't have morning sickness, which is something that I'm super, 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 super thankful for. Okay, and for those that have, stay strong there. Okay, I know it's hard. Like I can imagine, if I have to vomit every time, then it must be really bad. Okay, but what are the habit that I stay with is I stay with frequent small meals. So I no longer eat 3 meals. The only time I felt nausea was when I skipped my lunch. So that is my own problem. But then because we were rushing to, live in the stay in the United States, we are rushing to get a house, settle all the administrative stuff, getting a social security, buying a car, and also settling down at work. So a lot of things to be done, over the weekend. So there was time where I actually skipped my meal, and that's when I think I felt nausea. I felt the feeling of like you want to eat, but you're so hungry you want to eat, but at the same time you're full, and then the food just didn't taste good, and when you eat it, you feel like you want to vomit, but you cannot because you know that your body is lacking nutrients because you skip a lunch, so you have to force yourself to eat. Yeah, so that was really uncomfortable, and then I told myself, never to miss a meal, and always eat timely meal. Like when timely, right, it's really up to your own body clock. So I can't tell you like how many meals you need to eat, because different people really have different body. So all I can say is stay with frequent small meals. You don't need to stick with that fixed 3 meals. Because to me, I can't. If I were to eat 3 meals, I don't think I can survive, because you in between you feel hungry for sure, and pretend you eat 3 main meals and you still snack, then that sounds unhealthy, right? Especially if you're that snacks in between are unplanned and they turn out to be those salty chips or sweet chocolate, then that's not something that you want to keep doing it. I mean, you can always have a cheat day or a cheat week, you have the freedom to do that. But if you just don't have a routine, then that's not something I would recommend. Yeah, so stay with frequent small meals, and then once you have the habit, you go through it daily, it should be manageable. And continue to eat your prenatal vitamin daily, no skipping. I always put my prenatal vitamins at the kitchen countertop, so whenever I leave, I will have to see it and I remember to eat it before I go for work. Then you are losing a lot of calcium. So drink milk. I drink milk. This is something that my mom told me to do, so I'm just going to do it. Because it makes sense. Milk, calcium. Or you can eat calcium tablet if you're lactose intolerant. Then or ask your OBGYN, okay? Or what you should do. I think very important is you don't know anything, just ask your doctor. They'll advise you, and then you just follow what that makes sense for your body. Then also eat more servings of fruits and nuts as snacks. So that's what I did. When I say frequent meals, so sometimes I eat like smaller servings of food like meat and vegetable and rice, and like in between I will plan like fruits and nuts as snacks to eat, so that I won't feel hungry and it forces me to snacks on like salty chips or not. Yeah, so that's how I avoid doing all those. Yeah, so that's the next point, which is to avoid sweet snacks and fried food. I know it's hard, but it's something that I would say good to take note of, instead of forcing, like saying no, you can't eat it, but I use the word avoid. So it's your choice and it's your own body. Then at week 20, there will be, so in US, I don't know in Singapore when you all do this anatomy scan, but it's just, like a full scan of your baby, when it's more developed. And that's where you will know your baby gender. Usually. But you can always, I think, pay more initially to, I don't know, take some blood draw and know what's the gender of the baby. I didn't go for that option because, as you can see, I'm like rushing off to travel for my work, and I don't have time to do things that are not required. So just wait for a few more weeks and you know what's the gender of your baby. Then at week 22, that I mentioned previously, I'm not able to fit into my normal dresses. So that is where I have no choice but to take out the maternity wear, those loose fitting ones. So I kind of like the Uniqlo kind of like flare dress, because those, after you wear, people cannot really tell whether you're pregnant or not, because they'll just think, oh, it must be the structure of the clothes. But actually it sort of hide my baby bump quite well. So I like the Uniqlo flare kind of skirt. And from here, my belly button starts to darken, so I put a photo there. You can see my belly button, turn brownish, and like that's my baby bump at week 22. So that's where you can feel like it's coming out. And I can still fit into my normal dress, but it's so tight that whenever your food get digested, sometimes your bum will go bigger during that few hours, and then you know that, oh my god, your dress is going to burst. So I don't want to be uncomfortable trying to fit into dresses. I decided to just go all free flow from week 22 onwards, so just baggy clothes. And then continue on. So at week 24, I have to lie sideways. Okay, so this is the week where I realized that when I start lying flat, like sometimes when I use my laptop lying flat, or where I use my phone lying flat, I cannot last more than 30 minutes. And without feeling out of breath, I'll feel, oh man, I'm like trying to reach out for more air. So I have to lie sideways. So that's what I did, like when I lie sideways, I feel like I can breathe better. And that's how I also sleep at night, sideways. I can lie flat, but it's not going to be long. I will just wake up unknowingly and then just lie sideways. So one thing for you to take note if you are in your second trimester is probably want to get used to sleeping sideways, because ultimately you would have to. So why not just start early so your body can slowly get used to it. So about pregnancy, right, is about getting prepared and getting used to the change, and so that when it comes, you don't feel, or your body won't feel like it's awkward, because you're already having a baby bump and then you have to change your routine. It is not going to be easy, so try to do things a few weeks earlier than the expectation. Then you can adjust. So I didn't write it here, but I think you don't have to read up on books. I'm not saying so technical, or go YouTube videos all the way from first trimester to third trimester. You probably cannot remember. So what I would say is if you're in your end of first trimester, you should maybe watch a YouTube video about second trimester, so you know what's going on in the second trimester, so that you can prepare for it. Yeah, so you go by stages, taking baby steps to be prepared. So when you're second trimester, then you start looking for third trimester video, so you know what is your body going to be changing, and then you can prepare for it. So that's what I did, at the side, and I thought that was, useful, and it keeps me comfortable to know what's the next step going to be in the next few weeks. That's all. Not a long horizon, just a short horizon forward would be good enough. And my essential here is to really get this, I don't know what is this pillow called but the shape is, in a C or an S. So basically it's a very long pillow, that you can twist and turn. So this is a saver. Okay, it's something that my sister handed to me, so I was lucky enough that I don't have to go buy and search. But this is definitely an essential for me, okay, because I use this to sleep at night, when I turn over and then I need something to support my baby bump, and something to cross over so my leg feels comfortable, and something for my neck to rest on. So essential, okay, for your nap, and when you sleep at night. Then also at week 25, I start to see that there is this obvious darkening of that vertical line, right? So I think I saw it online before, people saying that, your pregnancy, when you're pregnant, you'll start to see this line. So that's how my line looked like at week 24. Sorry, at week 25. And then I started to feel backache towards week 26. Yeah, and I mean, there are times where you feel backache before week 26, but those are come and go. You don't remember it. But at week 26, I don't know why, when I feel the pain, and then when I try to not think about it, right? Say, hey, probably it will go off after a while. I will usually have that kind of mindset. But this doesn't go away, so I'll feel it, and then wow, when I turn, you just feel it again. So that's when I know, okay, there's probably a legit or a persistent symptom that is happening in this particular week onwards. So I guess there's an opportunity for you to ask your partner for a free massage. I mean, it's good to have them massage you so that, you won't feel like you're alone, and then like they're supportive of the pregnancy. So up to this point, we have been gaining weight, but somehow I only remember at week 26 that I have gained 8 kg. So I didn't really weigh myself every day. I don't have a weighing scale here in the United States, and I don't want to buy one because I don't know. I just hate buying things that I know I won't use it for long. So I didn't have it. So I usually only remember it when I go for my checkout, and just nice at week 26 I remember my weight. So at this point of time, the point I want to make is that you're becoming bigger, like just walk with caution, like walk slowly, avoid step and trip, be more alert when you walk. Because I think when they said walking is working, that is only true when when your body is different from a normal person body, and that's where you really need to take extra care of it. Okay, and then towards second trimester, here in US, you have to test for gestational diabetes. I don't know when in Singapore you have to do a test, but I know somewhere in your pregnancy you have to do it. So there's a super sweet glucose drink that you have to consume, and then they will just do some blood draw tests. So I have yet to take this because I missed mine while trying to settle other stuff. Yeah, but that's something that I have to do probably next week. But I know the process is, you drink it and then you have a blood test drawn. So from pictures here, so week 24, the pillows, important. Week 25, that's just to show how my vertical darkening of lines look like. And week 26, just an example of a loose fitting clothes that I like to wear, and it doesn't make me uncomfortable because I can move around pretty well, and if my tummy is to become bigger over the day, I don't really feel restricted because there's like a lot of ample space inside the dress. Okay, so basically that's the end of my whole experience. First trimester, second trimester, I hope it has been helpful and I'm not being too naggy or what, but I just think that this journey is about your own body and of course about your baby. So be careful and try to just eat healthily and no alcohol, no smoking, no raw food, and prepare your body for the next change, right? So these are the key thing I would want to leave behind. Then at second trimester, I think that's something that is good to do. I mean, not must, but that's what I did. So I start to arrange the 0 to 2 months baby clothes, the top, the bottom, one piece, their socks, their mittens. I just start to arrange them because I don't know why I feel good after arranging them to know that, okay, if let's say the baby's here, I know, okay, I have all these clothes, so I don't have to buy. So you'll feel good after doing the organization, and you can also look out for what you don't have so that you can buy it, right? So you should start purchasing your newborn essentials. When I say essentials, like really the needs lah. Don't go overboard and buy many different things. I don't know, like I am someone who is more minimalist, so I don't want to buy things that I know I don't need. So I search online on what exactly are different people essentials, and then I get my own list. So you probably have your own list because what I can't live without may be different from what you can't live without. So my basic essential was like the clothes, which I have from my sisters, so I don't need it. But then car seats, so it's compulsory in US to have car seats. If not, the hospital won't let you take your baby away. So I definitely need to buy a car seats because I don't have a car seat. And then you probably want a carrier so that you can bring your baby around. So to me, that's an essential. Stroller is also an essential. Then a bassinet or crib, depending on whether is the baby going to sleep with you or whether the baby is going to like sleep in his or her own crib, right? So my recommendation is to get this list out before your third trimester, because And also you can shop around, and then while you can still move around in your second trimester, because to be honest, I don't know how big my body will be in the third trimester or how tired I will be in the third trimester, and I don't want to do things to the last minute. So I think second trimester is really the best time, to do all this towards like the 5th, 6 months, when obviously your stomach is growing, that, oh, I need to prepare for it. That's like a time or alarm to you to know that you have to prepare for all this. So you just go do it while you can still actively do it. Then you may start to look out for what to pack for hospital bag. Like, you don't really need to pack it, but it's good to have that list ready and scan through it to know what are stuff that you have, what are stuff you don't have, so you know your shopping list. And also maybe to look out on how to do your baby cert documentation. I don't have any experience for the Singapore case, so I'm not sure is it straightforward or not, but in the United States, I already done the pre-registration, just to let the hospital know that like these documents they can keep with them, so that when I come here to deliver, then they will just, pull this out, and then I just don't have to like fill out so many things. Like the basic particulars, your name, your address, your birth date, like you don't really want to do that kind of stuff like after your delivery, right? Because those are basic information that you can pre-fill. So probably you can do that first. And then, you would have a less administrative delivery. Okay, so with that, I've come to the end, and there are just a few slides that, I thought that was quite nice. This is just a default template. So I thought it's nice, like the quote, that your babies will be as beautiful and as angelic as you when you're born. Keep the positive in you. And remember, pregnancy is a journey, and I think it's something that is beautiful. Okay, I'm not trying to be like a saint here or what, but I think we know that sometimes you get upset or like, oh, this thing is inside me, and then I can't do things I used to like, or like, why do I have all this body ache? Why am I the only one going through all this? But I guess eventually we all should be thankful that you have a baby, especially when you're trying to get one and then you have it. The journey may be different for different people, but if you need any help, don't hesitate to call, like your close friends or your parents. You're not alone, and whenever you feel stressed, just step out of it. Yeah, I don't really know like stress or not stress, but to me, I've been trying to tell myself that a baby is going to be in me for 9-10 months. If he will be my priority for the moment. So whenever I feel like there's work stress, I will try to step out of it, because I will say that, oh, this is not important. Okay, I need to maintain my mental health. So I don't know whether all this, like small little constant reminder to yourself help, but it helps for me. So I'm glad to say that like I have not stepped into the prenatal depression zone, which I know that it's common to go to, but I don't have that experience, but I know that people will have, so it's not abnormal. But if you have it, just go look for help and just ask for help, because sometimes when you talk to people, I think that's help to keep your mental health good. Okay, so just know that you're not alone. Or talk to your partner, talk to your parents, talk to your friends, if not, talk to your therapist. And yeah, if you have any comments, or if you think that what should I prepare for my third trimester, especially now like I'm actually alone in a foreign land. So I find that this is a pretty different experience but if you have your family around, that is so lucky of you, like it's something that I'm very envy about. So don't take those for granted, because being pregnant, I feel like the fun come when your family sees, oh, you're pregnant, and they'll take care of you, especially your mom or your dad. They'll be excited for you, and then you probably feel that excitement every day or every week when you see them. But here, because like I'm just with my husband, and then like my husband has been nice enough, but he still have to work, right? You cannot expect him to give you 100% attention. Like he still have to provide for a family, he still has his work to do, and he's not going through this pregnancy, so he will not be first-hand experience. Like if there's anything that you need help with, you need to tell that person and not expect the person to know. So open communication is important, and reach out to your friends and family. You're not alone. So if I try, if I feel that if I can tell myself that I'm not alone, even though I'm really physically alone here, then I think for you who have your family beside you, you have more opportunities to reach out to and easily. Like you don't have to wait 12 hours later for your family to wake up to answer your questions. So yeah, enjoy those small little things you have. And yeah, let me know if this video is helpful and leave your comments on whatever to help anyone who is, like new mom. So I hope this video has been useful for you, and please subscribe if this is useful so that I would know if I should make a third trimester video, and if I should make about what are the stuff that I pack in my hospital bag, what are the essentials that I've bought during my pregnancy, and what I think are my newborn essential. See you guys next week.